January 19th, 2023, and this presentation number 1014. I want to welcome you all to our class tonight. We operate together as the Academy of Entrepreneurs and Associates, so it's always a pleasure to be in a class with entrepreneurs. That's where I am. Tonight we're talking about what do we need to do to get our business started, and if we've already got one started, what do we need to do to make it grow? The 24 things you must know, that comes from a title of a book I wrote several years ago that's available to you. Basically, your handout tonight is kind of a manuscript of the book, so you don't need to buy it. There's a lot more information in the handout than actually we got time to talk about on the screen. We are sponsored tonight by the wonderful, fantastic Sampson Community College and its Small Business Center there. The director is Mr. Bart Rice, who does a wonderful job for all of us. And you can contact him anytime you like, or I'll help you contact him, because the small business centers are indeed a good place to get information. I am not a lawyer and I'm not a tax attorney or an accountant, but I am someone that's been in business for 65 years. I've owned at least 6 businesses and dozens of enterprises, DBAs under those. So I've got a lot of information to share with you, and I'm happy to do it. This is our 15th season of the Academy webinars, so glad to have you with us. My story is, at 12 years old, my dad moved from Fayetteville to Dunn, North Carolina, and started a business, a farm equipment business, which went through a lot of different phases all through the years to stay in business, and now it's basically an internet website that I sell equipment all over the United States, direct ship or drop ship, whichever you want to call it, to customers nationwide. The business does sell over $1 million worth of products a year, and I basically do it all right by myself as far as talking with the customers. Of course, I have help associates that help me keep the business legal and in touch with our customers and marketing. I'll tell you about that a little later on. I've also been involved with landscape and mowing contracting. I did this not only as a private enterprise, but also did it in government contracts. Been involved with a lot of different federal contracts, including services to the FAA, mowing contracts, fertilizing contracts, things that were basically related to the equipment business, and to mechanical work, such as in doing motor pool work for the Army at Fort Bragg for a number of years. So whatever type of business you're in, there's a chance that I've been in one that's close enough related to it that maybe I can be a good advisor for you and help you as you're trying to make decisions and move forward. And that's what I'm here for. Glad to do it. When I sold my dealerships, tractor dealerships, about 15 years ago, I started mentoring at the local community college, and the director there encouraged me to take my lessons and turn them into webinars and seminars, and have been doing that. And, you know, it's become another career now, and I certainly enjoy it more than anything I've ever done, associating with folks just like you, that I have that common denominator with, is being in business for ourselves and know what the struggles and the challenges are, and how good it is to be able to share experiences with fellow entrepreneurs. This is basically the part of the state where I do most of my teaching. There's pretty much about 15 or 20 community colleges in this area, and through the years I've worked for almost all of them. Each year I'll serve about 12 different colleges each year, doing these type of classes, or in person, or doing one-on-one counseling. I want to send you greetings from my family. This is my bride Norma over here on the left-hand side, and she is a real pet lover. We have 5 cats and 1 English bulldog, 12 children in our blended marriages, 14 grandchildren, and 1 great grandchild. So all of our crowd are happy to, I'm happy to say that everyone's healthy tonight that I know of, Uh, Everybody's had the flu and the COVID and all this stuff, but hopefully that's getting past now. But my family sends greetings to your family and the very best wishes for 2023. I know I asked you to go steady again, as I have in all our series. For the next 7 weeks, I want you to remember that on Thursday nights, if that's your best night, we can have a date from 6 to 8 o'clock. You can sit back and relax at home, or whether you're driving, and some folks listen to us even driving transfer trucks. But wherever you are, you're welcome to join us. I would like for you to try to join us with video also if you can, so we can have a classroom setting when you do that. But we'll have the next 7 weeks together if you choose to join us on Thursday nights, and also I'm doing the same lessons on Wednesday nights. So if you miss one of them, you can pick it up the next night. We'll be talking about lots and lots of things to help you get your business going. And if I miss a subject that's or something special on your mind, all you have to do is let me know, and we will add it to the agenda. So after the 7 weeks is over, we'll do 5 more Wednesday nights, not Thursdays, but Wednesdays on this last 5 nights, to talk about lots of other different subjects that are important to you. And in these series, we'll do 5 nights, but 2 one-hour lessons per night. So we'll cover lots and lots of territory in the last part of the series. You're eligible to win lots of certificates and awards. You complete the whole series, you'll get a completion certificate from the community college and from the academy. And if you not only complete it, but do your homework and pass the test and such as that, you'll get a graduation certificate from the academy. And also you'll be a member of the academy. I'll put you on the membership roll as a associate. And if you do this two times, you can be an advanced associate and more, become a master's in the class, and just really up the ante with your knowledge. So what do you have to do to achieve those? Attend at least 5 of the 7 classes on Thursday nights and Wednesday night. Or if you go on and do the entire series, at least 9 of the 12 total classes. So that's not hard to do, and we'll look forward to keeping up with it. Lots of certificates, as I've already mentioned. You'll have some things that we want you to do to qualify, such as attending the classes, sharing photos and images, completely create a mission, vision, and promise statement, learn how and share some YouTube introduction videos, and list down your 5 marketable profit centers. Not too hard to do, and it's not required that you do it. You'll still get your completion certificate if you don't do the homework, but I hope that those of you that are moving forward in a serious way will do the best you can to finish it up. Then you can do some extra things to get an extra mile award if you want to do that, and we'll talk about that all online. And all this is listed out in handouts that you already have. Hopefully you signed in, and Bart has already emailed you the study guides and handouts for tonight. I want you to keep these and save them in your computer. Make a file there for your business journal. Lots of information that you'll want to refer back to, and we'll talk about most all of them. Notice down at the bottom here, I've got a couple of handouts that we're really not going to get into big time tonight, but I'd like for you to read them this coming week. And that's about the a business startup planner. And also, if you're planning on borrowing money and hadn't ever done it before as an entrepreneur, there's some good reading here that'll help you out. Now, in week 5, we'll be talking about borrowing money for your business, how to fund it, how to have fundraisers. But I try to give you some advanced information so you can be thinking about it here. Up here, now, your handout that's listed is number 1013, or it may be listed 1014. I'm not sure how it was emailed to you. That covers the talking points, and all through the series you'll have one of these talking points that'll start out with which presentation number we're at. That's the one that if you can print it out, as we're doing our lessons and make notes on it. It'll be very helpful to you. Always in these classes, some people just go the extra mile and really make it happen, and I'm always happy to give y'all special promotions and promote your business as you're going, and encouragement, and share information with everyone. I'm happy to say that last semester we had 18 folks that graduated. All of them are stars getting their business started, so we usually enjoy a lot of success in these series. Last night we had 38 people to sign up to get started with us. So far tonight it looks like we got about 10. Before the program's over, we'll have some more sign on, and we got a couple of people tonight that were with us last night, so it's always good to see you. So you can earn certificates just by completing the course. If you complete the course with honors, pass the test, and do your homework, you'll get a certificate from the academy giving us your title, and we can move on from there. Now, in every business, there are a few things that affect everyone, and some of y'all have already communicated with me to let me know you're just getting started. So these tips are going to be important things just for you to keep on your mind that I found through the years. Folks get afraid and nervous as they get started in business and do that. So a few of you still have your mics on. If you don't mind, how about muting them? Because we're getting a little bit of background noise. I'd appreciate it very much. So let's think about this. What I want you to know is whatever we plan, no matter how solid our business plan is, in business, and especially in entrepreneurship business where they're small, there's always going to be unexpected things come along. We don't know what they are because they're unexpected, of course. But the key is as an entrepreneur, you just can't be in a fixed position thinking that if I do this, it's always going to be this way, because that's never the case. Today, in my business, for example, I got an email about an hour ago from a customer that I had quoted some equipment, and he told me that one of my competitors had cut my price by $200 on this piece of equipment. Well, I didn't know that news was coming, but it's not surprising because I'm prepared for it. That kind of stuff happens all the time, and then you have to make a decision how you want to react to it. And different circumstances will bring on different reactions. So just know things will come at you that you didn't expect. In this thing, being alone in business is really tough. You think you got the weight of the whole world on your shoulders sometime and making decisions that you've never made before, and that's kind of scary. It was scary for me, even though our business had been in business about 20 years when my dad passed away. He was the boss, and he made the decisions, and all of a sudden he was gone, and it was up to me to make decisions. Well, I'm so thankful for the last 5 or 6 years, at least that time before he passed, at least we were able to share some reasoning and share some decisions. So I had a little bit of background, but now if I had to start all alone and without any experience, I know how tough it will be. So I want to encourage you to find someone that you can talk to, a mentor, an advisor, a counselor, and the small business center directors are really good at this. That's what they get paid to do, and they don't cost you a penny. Now, I'll volunteer to serve in that role and do all I can to help you at no charge. But you want to find someone you can find some inspiration from too. You kind of might want to stop listening to some folks that are always negative about everything, but look for someone that can help you. Now, I want to share with you that finding someone you can trust is all about finding someone that will help you stay inspired and keep you moving forward. And in my life, I know that when I'm riding down the road, there's always someone sitting in the seat beside me, even though the car is empty, because my Jesus, I'll tell you about my Jesus, he rides with me all the time. I can talk to him anytime I like, share questions, and in his own way, they'll always get the answers back to me. Sometimes I didn't want to hear, but there's always encouragement there to keep on being the best you can be and making the best decisions you can. So whatever your religion is, find that inspiration in there that will help you, to help lift you up, because entrepreneurship will beat you down sometimes. I mean, you have to ask the customer 9 times to give you an order most of the time before you will get an order. So we need inspiration, and find it where you can, in your faith, and friends, and people you trust, counselors and such as that. Don't feel like you got to carry this load by yourself. Find someone to help you in doing that, because things will go wrong. Even with a good plan, things could go wrong. I mean, just face it, COVID just has come and gone, hadn't fully left us yet, but it just wiped out a lot of real solid businesses that you thought would have been here forever. Who knew that something like that could happen? Well, I don't tell you, I've lived through, in business, 8 different business cycles. None as devastating as COVID was, but some of them really close. But the key is, and what I want to tell you is, you can make it through it. Being smart and listening, staying flexible is a major key in how this business you're getting ready to start can become sustainable and make it through the rough times, when a lot of other businesses will fall by the wayside, and those entrepreneurs will lose their time and their investment and their business. I don't want you to be a part of that number, and I'll do all I can to help you avoid it. So what my job is, and I know it very well, is to be assertive, because no one gets motivated unless someone else is assertive. And my job with you guys, you got the dream, and if you got the spirit and the energy, I'm going to do all I can to motivate you and show you how to put that energy to work to end up with a successful business. So it's not that I'm trying to step on your toes or preach at you. It's just I've been here for 14 years and see that I know right now that more than half of you guys can end up in just a few months well on the way to have a sustainable business. If you're serious, then I'm going to be here to help you. If you just are here to relax and enjoy the show, I'm glad you're here too. We will enjoy the friendship. But those of you that want to be motivated, I'll be your strawberry, no doubt about it. Now, what is your job though? Your job is to find the endurance that it's going to take to stay in the game. As your coach, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to ask you to do some things. I'm going to send you an email tomorrow that's got a lot of homework I'd like to see you do. A lot of homework you would like to do if you can find time to do it. I know that's the case. But if you can find the endurance to stay in this game, then by golly, that's what it's going to take to end up with your own business. So get ready, if you're serious and after it, to exchange a lot of emails with me. If you want to, even tonight, send me a note with your name and the type of business and the town that you're in with your email address. That'll be the first start. So I need to have y'all checking email and replying and responding to email with me, because when you're in business, you're going to need to do it every day, all day long. So just get used to it right now with me as your coach. I'm not going to be judging you. I'm going to try to be helping you, and I will be sending you lots of email. That's the way we communicate through these classes. Everything from homework to new challenges to reminders every week. Just extra information I send out a whole lot of. So write this down. Go ahead and send me an email. So let's just get it started. A lot of things I don't ask you to do and share. Like if you already have a website, I need to know it. If you're on Facebook, I want to know how to link up with your Facebook page. I want you to send me personal photos and also product photos that are related to your business or services. If you have a Google My Business account, I want to know that link. And if you've done any videos related to your business or just introducing yourself, I'd like to see those too. I'd like to see them now if you've done them, but here's the rest of the story. If you don't have this stuff already, you need it. If you don't have your own business, you need to be into each and everything here. And through the process of this series of courses, You'll see a lot of your classmates getting with it and sharing stuff, and we'll share it on these programs every week, and you'll just be amazed at how much progress that we all can make and learn from each other. It's a devotion to mutual helpfulness is what this thing is all about. One thing that I've used, at least for the last 10 years, is sharing drill skills. That's little techniques, little strategies, little tips that an entrepreneur, if you've got it in your DNA that you own this knowledge and the ability to make it work for you, it will really make a difference for you. So many people tell me each series that the drill skills have made a major impact in them. So there's 40 of them. For 5 weeks, we'll do 8 each night. 8 each night. So we'll go through them, and then we'll rehearse them each week as we go along, because I want it to sink in to the point that you feel like, hey, I can just name these from memory. That's how important they are, and you'll see as we get into it. So this is week 1, so we'll do the first 8 of the 40 drill skills. One of your handouts has them all listed with videos where I'm explaining them to you, how they apply to your actual business. What I'd like for you to do is to take that handout and at least watch 1 or 2 drill skills per day. 1 or 2 per day, so that it'll be sinking in. So the first one is, do you want a business plan, and why? The why is to help you avoid unexpected pitfalls and expenses. And why do we want a business plan? Is to tell us what's left. What's left after we take our estimated income and subtract our estimated expenses. That's what's left. And that what's left is the amount of money that's going to be, hopefully, that's going to reach or exceed your goals as we go forward. Next week, we'll be talking all about business plan and business planners. So look forward to that. The third week, we're going to talk about marketing. And I call it my golden goose plan, because we're after the golden eggs. And the market plan that I want you to have and feel really good about is one that will always be telling you what's next. What's next? Let me tell you, as an entrepreneur in a new business, there'll be nights when you lay your head down and you'll wonder if you're going to be in business next week or tomorrow or definitely next week or next month, because we have hot times and cold times, and sometimes when business just cuts off like a spigot and there's no explanation for it, and we got cash flow and expenses to make and bills to pay, it's scary. Well, the great news is, in week 3, I'm going to show you the Golden Goose marketing plan, and how what it can do for you is to tell you what's next, and assure you that you're going to keep getting orders. You'll keep getting business. Even though you don't have them in hand, you'll have that sense of security because you've done the 1, 2, 3 jobs that it takes to keep that ball rolling. So it's a very, very thing to have that's telling you that my business is going to stay in business for many, many years. So my business has been in business for 65 years, and I'm very proud of that. And it's not because I'm a really smart guy or we've got any important, great big things to do, or that we make a lot of money in our business, because we don't. But we're still here and we're still kicking because of what I'm going to teach you in this marketing plan. So look forward to getting that. Part of that marketing plan is the importance of you knowing that there's 3 different types of marketable profit centers, and I want you to have at least 5 profit centers in your business. But a marketable profit center is something that you do that you can market separately. If you're just going to do one thing, or you think you're just going to do one thing, I'm going to tell you right now that one thing's always goes south one day. You need a variety, a diversity for a business to be solid. So we need profit centers that, number 1, bring in new customers and increase our daily traffic flow. Number 2, we need profit centers that once we get the customers in the house, that we got good merchandising products on hand that will promote continuous business and at higher profits. Because profit center number 1 usually is very low margins, if any money being made, but profit center number 2 is very important. Now, the third profit center is number 3, and that is, I want you to design doing something in your business that will bring you in some big ticket sales one day. Some big ticket sales, something that's on a continuous basis. And we got several of y'all now that I see that are joining us. Want to welcome all of you that don't really sell anything that's cost a lot of money. It's kind of small deals. So how can we group our products or do contracts or offer things that we can really get some good, bigger flow coming in is what I want you to think about doing. See if I can mute Daniel. There we go. All right. So we'll come back to these in a little bit, but that's number 3 in the drill skills. Also, I want you to have 5 different things that you're doing to help you generate cash flow year-round, diversify with different customer groups, and enjoy the benefits of upsells to help your business grow. And RFC, you heard this before, a raving fan customer. That's a customer that goes out after doing business with you and tells the whole world how good it is to do business with Amy. Or I did business with Linda today. We did a deal and she was fantastic, gave me a great deal, and I want to encourage you to go do business with Linda. And Sarita, she is absolutely the best creative star for like making programs for your business or doing special graphics or taking care of work like making certificates. Sarita makes the certificates for us. So I'm a raving fan customer, and I want to encourage other people to do business with you. So you want to hold on to those folks. Not only am I going to show you how important they are, but more importantly, how to create a raving fan customer. In week 4, we'll get right into the bottom because they don't happen by themselves. Number 5, the NDCP is we don't have a plan, but if we're not getting any demand, we need to change the plan. The message here is again, be flexible and be willing to change the plan. Always be connecting dots. A, B, C, D. Someone asked you tomorrow, what did you learn from Steve's presentation tonight? It was as simple as A, B, C, D. Always be connecting the dots and connecting them in a way that they create a nice, smooth circle. In other words, we need to make decisions that will help us complete our circle. We need to make decisions that will fit into what we're trying to achieve. Because it's really easy to say, well, something feels good at the time, so I'll do this thing. But then when you look at it in the overall picture, it's not a good thing. So kind of when I'm asking y'all to give me a list of your 5 profit centers, you'll give me some surprises, I know. And I'll need to challenge you is, well, why are you saying you want to do this thing? How does that fit with everything else you're doing? Sometimes it does fit. Sometimes we have to have something that's kind of out of one circle, and our business needs 2 circles. But I want to talk about that because it's going to be so important. A, B, C, D on every decision. If you don't have something, a big sign you want to make to help your business grow, to remind you what to say to customers, to earn more profits, the 3 big words are always going to be, and by the way, and by the way. By the way is the password to upsells, cross sales, and stacking profits. The more things that you can do to offer to your customers is the more opportunities that you're going to have to make sales. You catch fish in the ocean by following 3 important rules. Now say this with me. Rule number 1 is keep fresh bait in the water. What's rule number 1? Keep fresh bait in the water. What's rule number 2? Keep fresh bait in the water. Rule number 3, guess. Just keep fresh bait in the water. Now, I fished for 25 years, and if you don't keep fresh bait in the water, you're not going to catch fish. If you do, you're going to catch fish. It may not be what you're fishing for, but something's going to come by and bite on it. So what's that got to do with selling? Keeping fresh bait in the water is the same as saying to catch customers, we need to keep continuous promotions out there. So some of y'all have already started your business, and I know that. I've already started. And what I can probably guarantee that you'll tell me that if you do send out promotions, you'll have business. But when you don't send out promotions, you don't have business. So I'm going to teach you how to do it and when to do it and how to keep up with it. We're moving into the kind of the guts of the presentation now. If you're brand new in business and just looking for a business coach or a counselor to help you, and you schedule that meeting, you're probably going to spend $500 or $600 just for an initial consultation, unless you're going to the small business center where it doesn't cost anything, or you're attending these seminars. It's not going to cost you anything. But the coaches need to ask you, I need to ask you, you need to be solid with your thoughts. You need to have a good understanding where you're headed, or you'll be moving back and forth. Are you personally going to be involved in the business, or do you want to buy a business that someone else is going to do all the work? That's an important question because it has everything to do with how we plan. Is it going to be full-time or part-time for you? It's just something you don't do full-time. Well, full-time and part-time mean different things to different folks. Like if you're already doing 2 full-time jobs, and I know a lot of people who are, and probably some of you, then and you're adding something else, well, there's no doubt about it. This thing you're adding will probably be part-time, because I don't want you to throw away any good job with benefits and retirement and a good place to work. I don't want you to throw away any good job to start something new and risky unless it just makes good sense to you. But the question will come down to it, how many hours per week are you going to put into this new business to begin with? And what days are you going to work them? Yeah, I'm asking you to nail it down on Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday. At what times of day and how many hours are you going to give to your business? We need to be that specific as we're doing this business plan. Are you going to start as a home base, a mobile business, an internet business, a bricks and mortar business, or any of the different types here? So have you thought about that? What date do you actually want to open your business? Yep, let's try to get a goal here as a date that you're saying, I'm willing to jump into this and I'm going to open it on a certain date. Because I'm going to tell you, it's hard to open a business with nothing going on before or no startup work in less than 6 months. Really hard in less than 4 months. So there's things that you have to do, and I don't give you a planner, but first of all, I need to know what goal you would like to be at a certain level in your business. That's going to be really important. Now, let's list down the products and or the services that you're going to provide, or maybe you're going to be providing information. What are you selling? What is the products? And I want you to be specific about this. Like, I just don't want you to say washing vehicles. If you're going to be detailing cars or detailing transfer trucks or shining up wheels in a parking lot, there's a lot of detail needs to go into this, because that's going to get into being diversified and to serving niche markets. If you're going to have products, just don't say to me you're going to be selling shoes. I want to know what kind of shoes you're going to focus on. Work shoes, nurses shoes, athletic shoes, hiking shoes. Be specific in the types of products, because by being specific, we're going to be able to look at your branding and your signature items and what niche markets you can probably market to, and that's going to save you a lot of money. So think now about listing down, writing it down, your products and services. How's your credit? Your credit's going to be important as an independent entrepreneur, because the lower your credit score, the more things are going to cost you. The lower your credit score, the higher your insurance is going to be. The higher your interest will be. The less likely you'll be able to get a vendor to do business with you. So if your credit score is lower than a point that a lender really wants to loan you money, then let's think about improving that. I have a handout that I'll be glad to send to you, a study guide that'll give you lots of tips about how one day at a time you can start improving your credit score with some real easy methods. A very important subject now, so let's take a deep breath. All of you think and say with me now, mission, vision, promise, MVP, mission, vision, promise. As individuals, we can dream a lot and talk a lot about what the kind of business we want, what we want to sell and do, but more importantly, it's the internal feelings that you have about your new business that are more important than anything else. These feelings are more important than the products and the services. So I'm going to ask you to give serious thought to go ahead and start working on your mission, vision, and promise statements. They'll do a whole lot for you. And one of your handouts that I prepared this past year goes in depth, gives you lots of examples and samples. It takes most of the work out of it because I'll give you all the buzzwords for you to write your own mission, vision, and promise statement. And these things will change as we go along. It's perfectly okay to do it. And you'll list the core values of your business, what you really feel is important in the management that you want to do. You'll talk about what you want your company to do for the community, for your customers, for your employees, and then what your personal goals are for the standards of your new business. These are very important to getting your thoughts lined up to get your business started. For example, for CarverEquipment.com, it was my decision to come up with the core values, and I came up with these values, and I have them posted at my website, and I put them in every email I send out. Our core values at my company are to respect every person, to maintain high standards, earn trust, foster partnerships, and embrace excellence. Now, if anyone can find anything wrong with them, that's your business. But every day when I include that in my email, it helps me to feel good about keeping my standards high. It's a constant reminder to me that I'm in the game, and it's a reminder to my customers as to what to expect from me. That builds absolutely good relationships with your customers. Different mission statements will apply to different folks. Vision statements will apply to different folks. You promise what you want the company to become and look at in the long term. You give that some thought. These are all in your handouts, several from a lot of different places. So I want to encourage you to go ahead now and be thinking about your mission, your vision, and your promise, because you're talking to yourself here as much as you're talking to the customer. So please let that be. And this is one of your first homework assignments, is to put these things together. The Academy of Entrepreneurs and Associates, I've put together the mission, vision, and promise statements for them, and also our purpose. They're all listed here for you, and we go through it. I'd like for you to read them so that you'll feel good about being a part of the Academy and work hard to do it. But what I like best is in the vision, because we're saying here we want to be together, this Academy, a group of small business entrepreneurs and mentors and advisors dedicated to mutual helpfulness. We're not dedicated to cutting each other up or to beating each other down, but entrepreneurs, good business creates good business. So we're going to be dedicated to mutual helpfulness, and I'm glad to invite y'all to be a part of that. We have a promise statement here that we're going to do our very best to be a good members of our community, and that we'll do our pledge to make things happen right, because we're going to be devoted to this work, to fair and ethical business practices. So think about that, and you can do pledges for your business as well. Finding that mentor, that motivator is good. Now, if you've already got in your mind someone that you feel good about building this relationship, well, don't just say, well, I know somebody I could go talk to. Take it to the next step and solidify a relationship and tell those people, I'm thinking about starting a new business, and would I be able to come and share ideas and get feedback from you? In other words, make it official that you're working with someone. It don't have to be public. It can remain secret or just between y'all, but let it be a relationship that is built on mutual understanding of what you're both doing here. Okay? Now, I had a gentleman call me today that attended classes 6 years ago. He says, Steve, I'm getting ready to make some changes in my business. He started 3 businesses. They're still running, and he's very happy. And he gives these classes credit to help him. He said, I'm getting ready to make some changes, and I'm going to be in new territory. Can I come and talk to you a few times and do some counseling? He said, I want to pay you, sit down. I want your attention on me for a few hours. And so I said, sure, come on. He said, well, do you have a contract we need to sign? I said, no, we'll just start out with a handshake and we'll take it from there. Make sure it's mutually good for both of us. That's a good way to do business. Now, you're going to need a foundation to stand on. You can't run a business without being on solid ground. So I'm going to have some tips for you all along here. But the first tip is I'm going to tell you that we need to be diversified in our products. Remember, I want you to have 5 profit centers so that you can serve a diversified group of customers. I don't want your business to be built on doing one thing to one group of customers. And we're going to have to maintain and know we're going to maintain a positive attitude and be determined and have energy, even though when it's hard to come up with. But I'm saying it right now, that's going to be an important part of your foundation. Another part of planning importance is having goals. You can't have a plan to go out here into the fog and know how to get to where you want to end up. We end up where our personal goals lead us. So you don't need income. You still have your home expenses, your mortgages, your insurance, car payments, food, looking after your dependents. And that takes a certain amount of money. How much money do you need to increase to make this work while you're running a business? What does that personal income need to be? Because remember when we talked about what's left when I mentioned the business plan? That what's left needs to be your new goals. Yeah, we're not going to put a business plan together just so we can say we got a plan. We're going to put a business plan together that is directed at meeting your goals for personal and for business income. For personal and business income. Part of getting to these revenue goals are indeed having a business planner that includes mileposts so that we can track our progress as we are on this journey. We're going to go from one place to another. So maybe you've already started, but my goal here, and I want it to be yours too, is that we're trying to achieve that next milepost, a realistic goal. Yeah, in the end, we want to have an up and running business, but to get there, let's do it one step at a time. So as y'all share with me where you are and what's realistic about where to get to the next place, we'll do that. But the rule number 1 to get this cornerstone in your foundation is to start small. Start small on a solid foundation. And I don't want you to jump in the pond and drown or jump in the river, ocean and drown. I want you to be willing to put your toes in the water, just your toes, and then we'll do it one step at a time as we get your business started. Anything else is more risky, and risk is not where I want to carry you. We don't need to be legal, and there's about 10 different ways that you can form a business. Of course, 99% of the people go LLC, but I want you to know there are other options. And I'll give you a handout and a fact sheet on that. There's very little need to spend a lot of time on it, because once you're ready to get this LLC and to get up and moving, then you'll know it, and we can take it one step at a time to do it. Once you decide the name of your business and the ownership of it, if there's going to be officers or just you as a sole proprietor, it's about a 2-hour process to get a LLC in place and also to get a federal employer number. So don't worry about the corporate legalities right now. We got some other things to talk about. I'll give you lots of information on that as we move forward. Now, there's a lot of risk that you're going to be facing, and some of you have already said, I'd like to do this, but I can't take the risk. This is just scary. I hadn't done it before. I don't have enough money to gamble and lose. So I know that. Every year in entrepreneurship, you have to make decisions about new profit centers. You need to drop some things, or maybe you need to drop some customers that aren't paying you right or won't let you make any money. So there's always decisions to make that are including risk. So let me tell you this. Things will change, and these risks will have to be made, and you're going to make decisions, and some of them aren't going to be good, and some of them will be excellent, but some of them will be awful. Let me tell you, if you're doing things, you're going to make mistakes. Just accept that, and you can't beat yourself up for doing that. You can do things that make you stronger and wiser, a better person and a stronger leader, and a better business person. And here's where I give you the tip to achieve that. For every risk, there's a risk management tool. And if you look for the risk and you talk to people that's been there and done that, because you don't know what they are, you hadn't been there before. But let's talk about what the risks are, and that's people like me and the directors of the Small Business Center can help you, or anyone that's been in the business before. You have to talk and talk about what the risks are. So as you tell me about your profit centers, which is telling me about your business, I'll be able to bring out some things that into these discussions that'll give you a flag. Hey, there's a risk here. But you know what else I can give you? Another flag that is a risk management tool. Now, what can we do with this green flag to help make this red flag not so important? That's the importance. Remember, every risk, we find a risk management tool to keep it from putting us out of business. There's not but 24 hours in the day, and I can tell you personally that some days 24 hours is way too little to keep your business going. So just know right now, you're going to be working some real late nights and some real early mornings to make it work. You don't have to manage your time to the nth degree to cover all the bases that need to be covered. You have to love it. You have to love it. Everyone in your home and in your household needs to know early on, before you start this new business, this will affect how much time you'll be with your children, how much romance you're going to be able to enjoy, how many times you can go fishing or shopping or vacation. Because if you're serious about keeping a growing small business alive, it's going to test and stress every part of your personal life. Just know that is coming. So dividing time and setting priorities and delegating become critical factors, critical skills that you want to own. I will assure you that you can make it, but you're going to have to have some skills to help you get through it. Complying with local laws is easier now than it's ever been, because every town that's incorporated, in North Carolina at least, if they're incorporated, they've got a website. And at those websites, they list down all their codes and all their ordinances and what it takes to get a business registration. The registration part is a no-brainer. That's easy. It costs you $25 to $100 in different towns. That's basically where you go to the clerk and tell them you got a new business. The name of it is this. This is what I'm going to be doing. Here's where I'm going to be located. Pay them a little bit of money and go on about your business. And every year they'll send you a renewal form where you list down any changes. It's important that you register your business in town, because in case something happens, they'll be able to come and help you. But also they'll keep you posted on any changes that are being made in ordinances that might affect your business. It also is, if a town requires business to be registered, it keeps the flim-flam artists and the crooks out of town. And that's important to keep everybody from taking advantage of your customers. You also want to know who the fire officer is, who's in charge of zoning codes. so that you don't do things related to your business and then have to undo them or tear them up because you were not in with the codes. So know that registering your business is a good thing, and you want to have all the information you can find to help you avoid unexpected expenses. When you go to the bank to get your business checking account or savings account or credit card, a lot of people, that's the first place they find out that they can't get it if they don't have an EIN number for your company. Now, when you were born, you were given a Social Security number. That identifies you for the rest of your life as the individual that you are. When a business is born, either as a sole proprietor or incorporated, then that business is going to be given an identification number, and it's called an EIN, or employer identification number. Whether or not you have employees or not doesn't make any difference. It's still going to be called an EIN number, and that's going to follow that business life from the day it starts to the day it's dissolved. So that's important that you're going to end up with one, and I'll tell you right now. So you can't get that EIN number until you name your business. So we don't have to have a business name first, and we'll talk about that a little later. But how hard is it to get an EIN number? And it's free, and you can go to the IRS website and get it within 10 minutes, and then move on from there. Are you worried about taxes? You want to start selling stuff, but you want to know if you have to start charging tax on items, sales tax, and then are you buying and reselling, so you're interested in resale tax? Well, all those are very important things, there's no doubt. But if you're at a point right now, you're just operating as a hobby, and you're selling a few things like on eBay or at pop-up sales or yard sales or swap meets and things like that, well, probably taxes are not something you don't be worried about. But when you get to a point that this hobby has become a business, and that means that it is an integral part of your revenue, of your income, of your subsistence, if this business is keeping your family alive and you're paying rent, then you don't need to be all about paying the right taxes and being registered. Well, Department of Revenue in North Carolina, they're very helpful for new business startups. I can say that with all sincerity. And they don't want you in here filing a bunch of paperwork if you're not going to be doing enough business to justify it, because that just wastes a lot of their time. But when it is time, they'll help you determine that, or we will. Then you can go to the Department of Revenue, and we call that NCDOR. They have local offices or regional offices, or you can work through their website. These people are very helpful, and they got call-in lines. You can do it. If you're going to go ahead and move forward with a pretty substantial business, then your bookkeeper and or your accountant will be doing most of this work for you. You'll need some permits and license and registrations, as we talked about earlier. Not to worry about it. This is handled right at that town clerk's office, as I mentioned earlier. Usually they all mean the same thing here, very low cost. And when you're ready to start advertising, to broaden your base to new customers, just not one at a time, but to new customers, and want to become a recognized business in town, then you're going to need to get in touch with your local officials to get your various licenses. This is what a business registration form looks like. It's not a big deal. It's basically got your name on it, what year you got started sometimes, and also it tells someone that you have paid the dues, that you paid the this cost me, I think, $100 here and done every year to get this. But they'll send you a bill, you send them a check, they'll send you your business registration back. A really good source of information for those of y'all that's just getting started, no doubt, is indeed the website sponsored by the Small Business Centers. And what this will do for you is tells you all about resources that they make available to you. Now, this webinar tonight is going through their system. In other words, you registered with the Small Business Center through this website, whether you knew it or not. But they've got a section of that website called Resources. And if you want to get into planning your business and thinking ahead and just getting some good insight on the overview, this is an excellent place to go read this section about resources available to you. So that's why I've got it in here. Don't want to waste your time, but if you've got time to go there, it's a good thing. Now, where are you going to operate your business, Vanessa? Tisha, are you operating at home or you got a bricks and mortar place? This is really, really important because wherever you're going to operate your business is going to require that we give some thinking about that with the business plan. Now, if you're working at home, that's the least expensive way to have a business. If you're working at home and have an office there, that may cost you a little more because you may have a workshop or tool storage or supplies that you're keeping in stock. So those costs may go up. And you may take on some risk there because you've got property now related to your business, which means that you may need to add some insurance to cover that in case it's lost to fire or theft or some other reason in a car wreck such as that. Maybe if you're working from your home office, but you've got a special truck or vehicle or van or trailer that you're going out to do work at other locations, that means more expense. It means more risk. So we'll do what it takes to have those covered. Or maybe you also need a bricks and mortar storefront. Maybe you're a barber and you want to have a barber shop that's not in your house. Maybe you want to start a salon, and so you don't go to a place and have several operators there, 5, 6, 10, 12, 20, but a bricks and mortar business. Well, when we make that move, we're going to really up the ante with expenses. Yeah, we're going to up the ante also with potential business that can come in because the nature of that business requires that you have a standalone building. But the bricks and mortar business means rent or lease or property payments, insurance, utilities, light bills, security, more telephones and computer stuff, heat bills and such as that. So we want to know now if this is in the plan and make sure we have the plan that covers it. So be thinking about that as you start working on your business plan. Where are we going to operate? And you know what? I've done all three of these in my life and still doing all of them except the bricks and mortar now. So I know how diversified it to be and different things that have come into play. If you hadn't ever done this, let me assure you, whatever you think it's going to cost you, you can almost double it by the time you get finished. There's just so many unexpected expenses that come along, and it's important that you get some help so you're not surprised after you get started. But here's something interesting, and we'll get into this big time in week 3. Wherever you're operating, you're going to need to have an internet exposure. There's going to be a need for websites and Facebook pages and promotions. No matter how large or small the business, it will be benefited. It can be benefited in a lot of different ways by starting to understand how the internet works and how you can make it work for you, bring you the most customers for the least amount of money investment. That's a big deal, and in week 3 and 4, we will go through pretty much every aspect of that. Remember when I said you got to be willing to change your plan, no demand, change the plan, NDCP? Always know that's going to be the case because I know I ask you now, can you sell? Are you a salesperson? Will people buy it at the price that you think it's going to sell for? And who are those people? Where are those people? And how many of them? And how do I get in touch with them? All this has to be planned in advance. We got to think about this stuff as we go. If we don't, we'll find ourselves out in the market totally unprepared, like a deer in the middle of the road and a freight truck is coming at him. You're not going to be that deer with me. we will try to cover these bases so you won't have those surprises. But all this work needs to be covered to be successful. So we'll go through this part of this in week 3 and 4. Now let's talk about the marketable profit centers. Marketable being the key word. Because anything that you write down as a marketable profit center, we're going to use that as an income generator in the business plan. That will be a little model. Every marketable profit center that you list will become a separate model in the business plan, and we're going to estimate how much profit, how much revenue that model will bring in. And then we're going to try to determine what's it going to cost us to sell these items and to market these items, and they will become expense models. So we've got revenue models and expense models that we can subtract the expense from and come up with what's left. We want our market and profit centers to be many and many so that we can say, and by the way, since you bought that, I've also got this and this. And you can't say, by the way, unless you have planned to have upsells. And planning to have upsells is the key, the biggest key to your profitability. Yes, the biggest key to your profitability will be your chance to have as many upsells as you can build. If I was selling today a rotary cutter, a bush hog, to someone to go behind their tractor, and they buy the rotary cutter from me, I don't tell them how much I appreciate their business and what a good deal they made, and then I'm going to say these words. And by the way, now would be an excellent time for you to take advantage of our spare parts kit. You'll save the freight on it if you go ahead and get it with the mower, and you'll have the parts on the same time that you need them, and you know you're going to need them eventually. And by the way, if your tractor does not have a canopy on it to keep that hot sun off your head while you're out there mowing, now's a good time to order that too. And by the way this, and by the way that, I will by the way the heck out of them until I think I've got nowhere else to go. But through the years, I've learned what the next steps, what the next thing that they might want to purchase or be interested in is, and have that as one of my marketable profit centers. Probably every one of you sometime in the last month or so has ordered something through Amazon. I noticed the Amazon truck come down our street a couple of days ago, and there's about 20 houses on our street, and I think he stopped at 9 of them and dropped something off. At our house, it was just a little package, $2 or $3 or $4 worth, but he had all kinds of stops from the Amazon truck. I thought that was amazing. But when you buy something from Amazon, as soon as you make that click to buy it, what comes up from the bottom of the screen? The little message that says, people that bought this item that you just bought also have an interest in these items. That's their way of saying, and by the way, let's learn from them. Let's learn from what I've just told you. Because if we can build up, and by the way, features into your business, you'll see your sales double, triple, quadruple at no extra expense, and you see your profits start stacking. No extra charge for this little piece of information. It's just all part of the free information we pass out. All right, these profit centers, tonight I don't hit them hard, but the rest of the whole series, they'll be coming into play because it is business. Number one, something you're designing that you're doing that will bring new customers to you, that will promote daily traffic, because you need it as a new company. You don't have raving fan customers yet. We got to start building them. So we start with new customers, which usually means we have to have something that's discounted at a low price and something that customers buy and want all the time. Now, I'm going to use the convenience store as an example. We all go to convenience stores. Generally, we go there to buy gas and some other items. But they make very little money on gasoline. But they can change the price of that gallon of gas 1 penny and make the difference in how much traffic they have that day. They go up in price, the traffic goes down. They take the price down a penny, the traffic coming in the store goes way up. And in these times when lottery sales, when the jackpots are so big, if there's big jackpots or it's growing, that means lots more customers are coming into the convenience store. So it's hard to find a convenience store that doesn't sell lottery tickets. They don't make any money on lottery ticket sales. Where they make their money is bringing people in the store. At every fast food, you can get a $5 meal. Any one that you want to pick, $5 meal is going to be available at one or the other. But let me tell you, that gets them in the store. But all of us in business, you and I alike, know that we didn't make any money on those, or enough money to be sustainable. So we got to have some items in our business that promote repeat business, and some merchandising, and some items that we are selling on a regular basis at higher profits. So once we get them in the store, we need to make some money. And so example of that, let's go to McDonald's, and they got that $5 deal. But you know what? The average leave-in price at McDonald's now is between $8.50 and $10.50. That's the average per person cost, even though it was the $5 meal that brought people in there. So what are we learning now? Even fast food places and so many more know that we got to bring in the new customer, but we also got to make some money. So we're going to figure out ways to get more merchandising going on, and more upsells, more upsizing is the key to making it happen. At the convenience store, it's all about merchandising, because these items that people pick up at the convenience store have profits that are 1, 2, 3, and 400% compared to making nothing on the lottery ticket and the gallon of gas. So that's why it makes it so easy to pick up items as in there. And at the grocery store, that 12 feet area between where you get in line and work your way up to the cashier, where they got all these shelves like this, the grocery store manager will tell you they make more profit percentage on these items than anything else in that whole huge store. It's all about having the right products to make money at the right place. And we need to do the same things. Maybe we don't have a store, but we've got websites. And so we're going to learn how to market the products that we can make the most money on and end up with some profit. At the automobile dealership, they make very little dollars on selling new cars and trucks, but they want you to come in there so that they can sell used cars and trucks, so that they can sell parts and accessories. That's the way it is in every big ticket item, like car dealerships, tractor stores, equipment dealerships, things like that. But those items still will not make you secure. I'm going to tell you that if you design and plan to have some big ticket sales that create a nice big amount of money that's got a significant amount of profit dollars in it, then you don't have a better chance of making it through the years. Because there are always unexpected expenses to come along, and they're normally big ticket stuff, like air conditioners, roof repairs, transmission out of your truck, employee hurt bad, accidents, bad mistakes. Big ticket expenses can kill a new small business that's not prepared. The main reason most everybody agrees, as professionals in this game, that new businesses go out of business is, one, they don't have a lack of skills, but number two, they're underfunded from day one. So the way that you can start being better funded is to have some big ticket sales so you can put some reserves aside. Now you may say, Steve, I don't sell anything that's expensive that will ever add up to a big ticket. My deposits are going to be $100 and $200, and I want to tell you, I want you to find ways that you can end up with deposits at $5,000 to $10,000. Yeah, but if you're selling small items, it's hard to get there, and I know that. So what do? You learn to bundle. You learn to put package deals together. You learn to do the things that you can move the ante up, and you can have some big ticket sales. Maybe most of your deposits are going to be average or minimal, But every now and then we need to make some big ticket items, and we don't do that either by bundling or by adding some high priced items. But let's take an example. At Smithfield's Barbecue and Chicken, they've got the $5 meal deal going on like every other food place. You can get that $5 meal. But look here. Not only can you get the $5 deal, you can get a $169, a $239, and a $370 deal. Because they have figured out ways to bundle their products to encourage people to give them a significant amount of money with one deal. You can do that too. And if you can't do it, then we need to relook at what your 5 profit centers are to help us move in that direction. Really important part of our building a business that can have some big ticket deals someday and stay sustainable. Let's talk about now, we're at chapter 12. I don't have to speed it up, so let me stop in here and say first, thank you all for being with us. Thank you for being a part of this. We will learn from you, and hopefully you will learn from everybody else and from me. I want to say to you, I want you to find the chat button, type in there your first and last name, your email address, and your hometown. We need to be in touch with you, and some of you haven't registered, and therefore you didn't get your handouts and such as that. When I can get your emails and such as that, I will send to you the handouts, and also you'll have all that you need to move forward to the next lesson. So please do that, and that will help us sustain the program as well. Also, when you do check in, stay with us as many minutes as you can. The longer you're on board, the more credit the Small Business Center will get for your attendance, and will help them get the money it takes to keep this program going on. I know that I'm covering a lot of ground in a hurry and doing the best I can to present it, but I'm not a rocket science, and I know I may be doing some things wrong, but I want to say to you, we've got a lot of stuff to cover. This presentation used to last 3.5 hours long, but I had to cut it to 2 hours. So sometimes you'll want to revisit these programs. If you miss it on on Wednesday night, come on over on Thursday, do it again. And also on Thursdays, I will turn our presentations into a YouTube video, share with you so you can go back and look at slides or different things and determine, make notes that help you. And I'm glad to share that with you. So if you have questions, save them to the end of the program or write them in chat or send me an email. All right, can you do this alone? Nope, you probably don't have to have some employees if your business really grows. And your big dream will depend on your ability to delegate, to hire employees, and to find supporting staff and organizations. We'll spend over in, I think it's in week 10, a whole presentation on doing this. But one of you asked me last night, could I send some information before, and I did. I've got information I can send at any time, and I'm glad to do it. So if you have special needs or a special concern, don't hesitate to ask me to send it to you. But we've got the answers, and I want to tell you the right employees are out there. If you've never hired anyone, we've got some great tips for you to help you. I've hired over 2,000 people, have had great employee relationships, and we'll look forward to helping you all that we can. The reality of it is, when we get started in business, we have to get started, and it's going to cost us money and time, and we're going to get pushback from some people. So we have to kind of plan for that. So my suggestion to you is, hold a family meeting, talk about what you're facing, give up the folks in the family that need to hear it a kind of an advance notice, so that people will understand and want you to be successful and will help you get there. That wants you to be successful and will help you get there. But there's going to be some costs. Like when I started my stuff, buddy has to come out of the family budget sometimes to do things, and that can get to be real antsy. So I'm just giving you a heads up to know that it's coming. But list down the basic expenses you know you're going to face. Now, next week we'll go through a long list of other stuff to give you examples, but you go ahead and start listing down what you think your startup expenses are. Every business will be different, You take that simple list you like, put down what it is you're going to be spending on, or what you estimate it to be. Make your list go on down, total it up. Send me a copy of it. Let me look at it. I'll have some questions. I might have some suggestions for you. But always, when you're trying to figure out what your startup expenses is, talk with someone that has got some experience, because they know things that you don't know. They know things that I don't know if it's a type of business I hadn't ever started, and look forward to learn those things. If you don't have to be borrowing money at the bank, then there's a lot that's going to go on that's going to help you and hurt you. Now, that's your handout that was included in your handouts tonight, talking about how much is money going to cost you and why. So that's a good thing to be reading. Remember, in week 5, we'll get into this big time. But I need to tell you right now, the business plan that we're going to start working on next week is not going to be the reason you do or don't get a loan. Matter of fact, it's going to be important, but it's going to be way down the list of the things that are important. Here's what will make the determination. It's that you have roots in the community. Have you made a name for yourselves? Have you paid your taxes, and can you prove it for the last 3 years? Do you have a decent credit score? Do you have a history of paying bills promptly? And do you have proof that this business looks good? Are you projecting the energy and self-confidence? And do you have a business plan? All these are important, but you know what? They are not as important as number 1, how much down payment can you make? Number 2, how much time have you invested getting ready to get into this business, and are you going to be personally involved in it? And if not, have you found someone that knows how to run the business? Next, they're going to be talking about collateral. In case it goes, things go south, what is the lender going to have to fall back on if you don't pay the bill? So what is the collateral? And then they're going to start looking at the business plan. If these things are not up to par, that add up to, yeah, I want to loan you money, the next thing that they would say, how about a cosigner? How about a cosigner that has got collateral to back up this loan we're getting ready to make? That might be a family member, it might be an angel investor, but that's how it'll work. So if we know that's coming down the road, go ahead and be thinking about it, because in week 4, we're going to get serious about how to fund your business, how to have fundraisers, how to get the money you need to get started. And that's usually going to drive us back to getting started small and growing a little bit as we go, so we can pay our own way as we go. The big kahuna in Polynesia is the person that's in charge. They got all the wherewithal, they know all the answers. In business, the big kahuna is the one that is outsmarting, out-marketing, outselling everyone else in this game. You know, and you want to find the person that's in the business that you want to have that does it best, that has done it a long time, they do it best, they're on top of their game. Because that's the person that we want to find, that's the business that I want you to study. Look at their marketing plans, their social media presence, figure out who their customer base is. And in today's world, with using the internet for surveying, you can do all this. And then that's the company that you want to pattern yours after. There's no reason for you to try to reinvent the wheel working from zero knowledge, because the information is out here for us. We just have to be smart about it. So we want to look at their skills, their marketing, how they serve their customers, what they're doing to dodge the bullets from competitors. And they do this every day, year after year. So let's find that person and see if we can make your business look a lot like theirs. You do that a lot by, again, coming back to that subject we've done, surround yourself with advisors and mentors, people that care about where you're going and are willing to share and tell you the truth. You can gain from other people's skills and experiences if you just be quiet and listen carefully. It's okay to listen to that person and then go find another opinion. Get second and third opinions sometime. But Find people to talk to. You don't need to know your competition that's right in town. Good business creates business. So whoever is doing this business best, they may not be the big kahuna in the region, but you still need to know with what the customers are going to be bringing to you every day as you're trying to do business. So we're going to determine how to out-brand, outsmart, outthink, how to outlast the competitors. Otherwise, you'll be on that list of people that have gone away, and someone else will be the ones that are staying. I want very much for you to be the one that's staying, and we have to spend some time looking at the competitors. So you can see already there's a lot to do, right? I mean, just a lot to do. And that brings us up to what is the most dangerous threat that you're facing tonight in getting your business up and running? What is your most dangerous threat? Well, I'll tell you, your threat is the same one as mine. And it's the daily struggles that we have fighting distractions. Because owning your own business and running it means we have to do a lot of stuff every day just to keep the boat floating. We really do. And because I already know that you're very busy every day, and just taking this 2 hours out tonight to come and listen to me is a sacrifice of what you're doing. So what we have to know is all these things I'm talking about that we need to do, someone's got to find time to do it. And to find time to do these new things means that you don't have to not do some things that you've been doing today and every other day in the past, and to find time to do these new things, which is saying we don't have to sit and change priorities. We don't have to sit and change priorities to become an entrepreneur if we haven't been one before. We don't have to change and set priorities in order to maintain high standards. Now, I'll share with you what works for me for about 5 years now. And so many of you have told me it was really working for you too. My secret in helping get a day's work done, the things that I need to get done, are every morning when I'm laying there on my pillow before I get up, but just woke up, I'm taking some time in, I have dedicated that time to coming up with the 3 to 5 things that I have got to do today. Really important things, and usually it's just 3. But 3 things that I have got to do today to stay in plan. And I'm going to do all I can to get these done before lunch, before I go to lunch or stop for lunch. I'll fight the distractions, other calls coming in, things that I'd like to do, email I'd like to answer. I'll put them off until I get these 3 important things done, and then I'll move on with other things. But fighting those distractions will help you take care of your to-do list. Now, there's going to be some days that you just fail, because I know that some of you are already working that 36-hour day, and it's going to be tough. And some days you won't be able to do it, but most of the time you will. You might not have to go to lunch until 3 o'clock to get them done, as I do sometimes, but I will hang with it and stay true to myself. And I know it works for me, and I think it can work for you. Maybe there's certain bills that need to be paid. Maybe there's certain quotations that have to go out. Maybe you need to take care of a problem with a customer. Maybe you need to make a phone call. And it could be maybe you need to make a phone call to mom or to your child somewhere. Those priorities can be priorities, because until you get them done, you're not going to be able to really focus on your small business stuff. But try to set a pattern where every day you're going to say to yourself, the 3 things I'm going to get done before lunch, and hang with it. And I wish you very good luck doing it, and I hope it works for you as it has for me. Our business cannot be all things to all people. That'll be one of our 40 drill skills. It cannot be all things to all people, but to be sustainable, it must be everything to some people. So let's say that again together. This is some real serious thinking. Your business cannot be all things to all people, However, it must be everything to some people. And when your business being everything to some people, you will be creating raving fan customers. So how do we approach this? How do we apply that? And this could be part of your mission and vision statements here. First of all, to be everything to some people, we have to have target customer groups and niche markets that we aim our marketing at. Now, in week 4, we have our presentation is how to find customers, how to reach customers. That's what this is all about. We'll really show you how to do it. You need to create and constantly update your customer database, a list of customers' email addresses and cell phone numbers, so that when it's time, you can stay in touch with them. Remember keeping fresh bait in the water? We need a database to do that. And once we have that database, we're going to have a plan for constant promotions that we'll plan out in advance, a month or two, or maybe even a year or two in advance, that we're going to constantly be in touch with our regular customers and constantly find ways to attract new customers. And we're going to have the discipline to follow up with customers after sales, because it's that follow-up that makes the marketing plan really work. We can't know what's next unless we follow up with customers that have just done business with us and ask them what's the next thing they're going to buy. That's the sustainability of knowing what's next. But it all comes back to knowing and always remembering, as large as we would like for our businesses to be, you can't be all things to all people. Because when you're trying to do that, you're going to waste so much money marketing and advertising and so much time doing things that aren't going to generate any business for you. But if you're focused and thinking that my business must be everything to some people, and you identify those some people, then you're on the right track. I promise you. Now, we need to name our business and our DBAs. Naming your business is important, no doubt, because you're going to need to do that before you get your EIN number and go on in the world. But naming your DBAs, doing business as, is really more important. And DBAs are so kind of confusing to people. I need to tell you right now that you're going to learn about them and how it works for you. Because DBAs mean you can operate several different types of businesses, but still under one umbrella or one set of books. DBAs let you take a lot of your profit centers, your products and services, and name them different names with labels and trademarks, and that's called branding. Branding, so people will recognize that product as your product and want to do business with you. But there's some legal loopholes you have to do here. Not expensive at all, not complicated at all, but I want you to know how to do it, so from early on you can start using DBAs to really start boosting your profits and your sales. Naming a product or a company Benson Auto Supply, or Dunn Auto Supply, or Raleigh Auto Supply, or Wilmington Auto Supply, even though it's the same North Carolina Auto Supply, makes a lot of difference, because people in Benson had rather go to Benson Auto Supply, or people typing in a search term in Dunn would type in Dunn Auto Supply Business. So the way you achieve that marketing strength is understanding how DBAs can work for you without raising your overhead up at all, really. So I'll look forward to getting into that with you in depth. And if you want to get special information on it now, I'll be glad to share it with you. Just ask for a study guide on it. Next week, we're talking business plans. Do you need a business plan? I want to tell you, you do, to help you avoid unexpected expenses and pitfalls, and to help you learn personally what all is involved, what's down the road for you, what profit centers will probably work and don't. It helps you see your business in the future on paper without taking the risk. What is your biggest way to avoid risk is to have a business plan before you get into business, or a business planner, so that you've covered the bases that you need to pay. Next week, the business plan we're going to look at is going to be real simple. It's a starter where we look at what steps you need to take during the first few months and start on it. So I think you've got an advanced copy of it, and I look forward to working with you on it, because it really will be an eye-opener for you. I don't want you to give a single discount in your business. I don't want you ever to give a discount. The rest of the story is that you didn't plan to give. What gets us entrepreneurs in deep mess, sends us down the river, is we start discounting and trying to be the cheapest guy in town, to the point that I got to do this to have sales. The key is that's the best way to sell your business down the river, because we cannot be all about being the cheapest guy in the game. We don't want to give a discount unless we know why we're giving it and where we're going to end up after the sale. And all this gets back to how you set your pricing. I want to be in business, people tell me, but I don't have an idea how to put my price on it. I guess I'll go look at my competition, and whatever they're charging, I'll try to be less than they are. You know, that's 99% of what people do. But when you come to this seminar and we work our way through it, I'm going to say to you that your cost of doing business is the critical thing. Your cost of the product is critical. But your profit margin is more critical, because if you don't make profits, you don't stay in business. What do we work on? Well, so many of us, or so many other folks, are all about setting their prices and then saying, this is as low as I could be, so you either need to take it or leave it. This is the number, pay it or hit the road. Well, my friend, if you're saying to your potential customers and shoppers, is take it or leave it, they will most of the time leave it and go shop somewhere else. Because they're determined to shop until they find a deal that they're comfortable with. And if yours is just look at it here and then go on and look somewhere else, they'll do that. And therefore you throw away so much of your bargaining that it's unreal. So instead of doing take it or leave it, when we're talking about how to price your products, and we'll have two webinars on this, we're going to show you how to have a ticket price, an asking price, an advertised price that includes your profit, includes negotiating room, includes your cost. The key here is it includes negotiating room. And you'll have in your mind different levels that you can come to negotiate with different customers. Because I'm going to tell you a little secret now. Customers are coming in three groups. You get that group of customers that are what I call the Walmart clan, that are cheap, cheap, cheap. Makes no difference. The power of the almighty dollar is cheap, cheap, cheap. I'm not going to pay $1 more than I have to from wherever I'm shopping. There's a lot of folks out there. Maybe you're one of them. Maybe I'm one of them from time to time. So to meet that customer, you have to have your pricing in such a way that you can get to the price they're looking for. There's another group of customers that not quite so picky and stingy. They just want a reasonable price and really like to think they got a little discount, made it worth their while to go shopping. Gave them a reason to get off the internet maybe. And they'll pay a little more, but they want to feel like they came on top. Well, those people will pay you a good percentage more than the cheap group will. And God bless this news, there is a good group of people, maybe a third or might be 20%, will pay that high price. They are willing to pay the asking price. They got money to spend and they don't mind spending it. They want you to make a good profit. They take pleasure in leaving nice tips. Those types of people are out there, and those folks will let you make a very reasonable profit and feel good about it without trying to bargain you down. And you definitely want to be in a position to take advantage of that, right? Well, if you start out trying to meet the Walmart price, you may sell to that group of people. But you're leaving out the consideration of the other two groups where the best profits are. Yeah. So if the plan is take it or leave it, then I want you to go listen to another instructor. If the plan is to try to capture all three buying groups with a planned strategy, pricing our products, and offering our customers ability to have something to do with the final price, and you still don't make your profit, then I want you on board, because you'll be the business that makes it years and years and years, while the Walmart crowd, the cheap, will be gone. Because we're not Walmarts. We cannot be all things to all people. It just won't work. So we're going to head towards wrapping this thing up now. And I don't say to you that putting everything together with the bare bones fundamental things we've talked about up to now, all of them are important. But as you're starting out, I think there's something that's a whole lot more important, and that's how you start. And we get back to the mission, vision, and promise statements. This is going to tie right into that. I want you to be a business person that puts principles in front of profits. Yes, we need to make that profit. It's critical that we make the profit. But the way we go about it is important, and we can take the high road. We can make the decisions that help us feel good about it and be the best people we can be. And we'll be tenfold rewarded through the years. Maybe we won't have great, big, profitable years, but there's a good chance we'll be here when other people are gone. I want you to take pride in the fact that you're building a lifelong legacy of trustworthiness, discretion, wisdom, helping people maintain high ethical standards, putting principles before profit. Let me tell you, there's not so many entrepreneurs in this world, especially ones that make it year after year. And those that do, they are well respected in their community, because people know that entrepreneurs that make it have to maintain high standards. And they're appreciated, they're respected. And the community and your family will be proud of you, and you can take pride in yourself. Pride that you were in their community. Value. Do you want to be a valued part of your community? Then be a really good entrepreneur. The way you do that is that you listen to people, you care about them, and you move forward. That's what I want the Academy of Entrepreneurs and Associates to be about, folks that do that. It'll be defined by, are you a giver or a taker? How will people remember you or consider you? And what are those determining factors? It's the first impressions you make. Do you show interest in other people, or are you all about yourself? Do you make the extra effort to be out and about and be seen and see things where you need to be? Do you take the time to go to funerals and community events so that you're proving that you do care about what's happening in the community? Are you an active member at church, and do you go to church? Do people see you there? Do you show that dependability and putting the principles again, knowing that there is a time that we need to pray, a time that we need to pray for others, a time that we need to be a part of the community? Are you active in service and civic organizations to a point that you're showing the community that you care as a business person? Are you leading? Do you go to Toastmasters or business training seminars where you hear, and that's one good step? Are you a member of the local Chamber of Commerce, showing that you want to meet the other business people in your community? You know, the other business leaders in your community are the ones that are going to become your raving fan customers and send other people to you. But we have to pay those dues as entrepreneurs. You want to be into it, you got to see and be seen. But first of all is how you work with the individuals, those first impressions, and listening to them and creating relationships. It's the relationships with our raving fan customers that keep the business growing and rolling. But all that I've said was kind of wrapped up a few weeks ago at a church service I was at Elizabethtown at the Foundation Church. I go there when we're spending weekends at White Lake. And the preacher, Jason Williams, was preaching, and his sermon was all about endurance. Because to finish strong, you got to have endurance. And all this stuff that we talked about, if you don't make it to the finish line and finish strong, it don't work. So I know that I have to talk about how can I help you and how can I help myself find the endurance that it takes to be successful at the finish line. First of all, we have to pace ourselves. So starting your business may be a goal that you have to do it in 6 months, but it may be 6 years. That's your determination, and I'm going to encourage you and motivate you to move forward, but one step at a time at your pace. At your pace. Remember that you got to pace yourself so you are able to handle it and your family can handle it. We have to humble ourselves. If any of us thinks we know it all or have all the answers, especially after what we've lived through in COVID, you need to rethink it, because we need to be humble and listen and appreciate the fact that things change, and we have to keep inspiring ourselves and others to get there. Yeah, every one of us is important. You are the most important person in this room, because if you weren't here, I wouldn't be here. Find the inspiration wherever you find it in a good way. I want a smile and encouragement coming out of you for other people, and all that's got to come from somewhere else. Again, whether you find it with your faith, with a family member that gives you good vibes and encouragement, start making that a major part of your menu, is taking in all the inspiration that you can so that you can share it with others. And I got to say, we don't have to drop a few pounds. No, I know I need to drop a few pounds of weight, but that's not what I'm talking about. We need to drop a few pounds of tardiness, of procrastination, of stubbornness, of unwillingness to hear new ideas, unwillingness to change. We need sometimes to drop a few pounds of friends that aren't good for us. Maybe we got some associates that we need to let them go their way, because you're going on a new path that's going to help you become a very successful entrepreneur with real high standards. Don't hesitate to know that's important, because remember we said that to do all these things it's going to take to get our business started, some other things are going to have to be unprioritized. Sometimes that's the people that we're surrounding ourselves by. Put yourself in a community of folks that will encourage entrepreneurship and encourage good values. And then lastly, we need to focus on the finish line. And I don't say to you something here you may find surprising. In entrepreneurship, it is my opinion, the finish line is not making $1 billion. It's not making all this money or achieving all these wealth. In entrepreneurship, the first goal is to get to the finish line, is to stay in business. Because if you continue to stay in business, you will find out the little things that it takes to become more profitable. And businesses normally get stronger, or at least on such a plane that they are sustainable and you have very little stress about them. But even after 50 or 60 years, things we've talked about tonight that build that fundamental structure still has to be maintained, but you will learn to maintain it with ease because you've learned it. And it all fits. You've got your priorities set. To all this is just a part of second nature to you. But we're focusing on the finish line. And every day that you remain in business, you're successful. How are you going to remain in business a long time? Is to have a good marketing plan that's telling you what's next. and you listen to that marketing plan and make the adjustments in the NDCPs and making those decisions in a circle, by listening to that business plan, you'll make the decisions that will keep you in business a real long time. Lots of stuff to learn, isn't there? There sure is, but you know what? It's fun, and you'll just be absolutely amazed. So let me encourage you to stay with it, to look at those 40 drill skills and start watching one of them every day. And then be happy, let your light shine. I want God to bless you and your family and your business as well. I want you to be just like a lighthouse. Be a beacon for good things and for good people, and you'll be absolutely amazed on how well things will be going. Let me share with you now that that's basically my presentation. I'd like for you, if you'd like to turn on your microphones, take them off mute, and ask any questions that you'd like, and we'll pick it up. Our next lesson will be next Wednesday night if you're a Wednesday night person, or Thursday night if you're a Thursday night person, or both. You're welcome to attend all the sessions, and we'll be glad to have you on board. So if you would like to, again, turn on your mics and have any comments or questions, now's the time to do it. Okay, who's got something to say? Okay. All right, well, Amy, and good to have you on board, and Daniel, Linda, as always, glad to see you back. Naomi, Sarita, and Tisha, and Venetia. We've got a great crowd here.
Well, thank you for giving this to us and all your knowledge. We appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I learn more every time than everybody else does, for sure. Thank you very much.
Yes,
I'll look forward to sending you your email with all the handouts. Make sure you've gone to chat and give me the information I need to get it to you.
Yes. I think I already did that earlier, but yeah, I'll go and make sure everything is done.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Thank you, Steve.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Sarita. I hope everybody has a great weekend. I will mention that I will be in Elizabethtown Saturday morning. The small business there is having a presentation from about 8:30 through about lunchtime on starting what they call a side hustle. Somebody's interested in doing that. There'll be 3 speakers. I'll be one of them. I'll tell you how to start. Someone else will tell you how to do the bookkeeping, and other folks know how to contact people. So it'll be a free breakfast and a little pickup stuff. But that's Saturday morning at Bladen Community College over in Dublin, North Carolina. It's on Saturday morning.
Steve,
all right.
Will your Saturday morning be on Zoom or anything like that?
Ask again, Vanessa.
Will the Saturday morning side hustle session be on Zoom or anything of that nature?
Yeah, it will not be on Saturday morning. However, I think that the director may be recording it, and if he does, I'll get that link and let you know.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll be able to send to you, and we'll the talking points that I'll be using in my part of it, which of course I think is the most important part. And as a matter of fact, I'll just automatically include that in the emails I send out tomorrow.
You are incredible, sir.
Thank you so much.
My birthday's Saturday, Steve.
No, it isn't. All right, you're going to be 16?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday. Everybody say happy birthday, Sarita.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Are you going to do something special?
My daughter and husband, they're coming down, so we'll probably do something Saturday.
Yeah. Well, go to that steakhouse that we went to. That's a good place to eat. I'm looking forward to going back there.
Yes, it is. I've been eating out every day this week, celebrating my birthday all.
Celebrate all week.
Yeah, so I went there Sunday. I started it off there Sunday.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. God bless you. Good night. We'll see you next week.
Good night.
God bless.
Okay.